Battle of the Brains, presented by Invest 529, Central Virginia's high school academic quiz show. Today's match features Collegiate School versus St. Christopher's School. Let's play.
Hello, welcome to Battle of the Brains and this last of the season's quarterfinal matches. I'm Cheryl Miller. Our high school academic quiz competition welcomes teams from schools all across the Commonwealth of Virginia. They're competing for a share of $20,000 in scholarship money, courtesy of Invest 529 and the E.W. Scripps Foundation. Today's teams have made it through the first two rounds, and the winner of today's quarterfinal match is guaranteed at least $2,500 of that scholarship money. The academic athletes joining us today are the Cougars of the Collegiate School, coached by Will Dunlop and Tyler Boyd. Collegiate School is a private co-educational college preparatory school in Richmond, serving approximately 1,600 students from junior kindergarten through 12th grade. Collegiate prides itself for creating a dynamic learning community and enabling its students to develop their intellectual growth, leadership, and service. Also with us today, the Saints of the St. Christopher's School, coached by Alina Shahutsky. St. Christopher's School is also in Richmond. It's a private college preparatory school for boys. Founded in 1911, the school emphasizes education, honor, and community. It's great to have all of these students back with us today, and our match will be 3 toss-up rounds and a category round. Players will buzz in and wait for me to call on them before giving their answer. Any interruption of questions with an incorrect answer will result in a point deduction. There's no deduction for an incorrect answer to a completed question. All right, students, welcome back. Good luck. Let's go. Here is the first toss-up round. What element composes a little over 78% of the Earth's...
Nitrogen?
That is correct. The Earth's lower atmosphere, nitrogen. It was introduced to the Summer Olympics in 2000. Name the sport combining swimming, cycling, and running. Kyle?
Triathlon?
That is correct. The Nobel Prizes were first awarded in 1901. I will name 5 of the 6 categories. You tell me which one is missing. Physics, peace, chemistry, literature, medicine. What field? Robert?
Peace.
That is incorrect. Eustonus?
Economics.
That is correct. Was added in 1968. The Native American code talker served in every Marine assault in the South Pacific from 1942 to 1945. What language? David?
Navajo.
Correct. Served as the basis for that code. What is the name of the Saudi Arabian city which contains the tomb of the Prophet Muhammad? Arjun?
Mecca.
That is incorrect. Collegiate School, Eustonus?
Medina.
That is correct. The Communist Manifesto, which marked the advent of the 19th century of scientific socialism, was written by Karl Marx. Robert?
Das Kapital.
That is incorrect. I'll finish for Collegiate. Was written by Karl Marx and co-authored by what collaborator? Eustonus?
Engels.
That is correct. We call it rust. What does a chemist officially call the red? Eustonus?
Iron oxide.
That is correct, or ferric oxide. In what book by Plato would you find the little vignette called The Allegory of the Cave? Arjun?
Histories.
That is incorrect. Collegiate School? Eustonus?
Meditations.
It would be The Republic. You may need your pencil and paper. Solve the following equation. 7x plus 14 minus 5x equals -8. Sutton?
-11.
That is correct. In physics, when a body does not change its position with respect to a fixed point in its surroundings, the body is in a state of what? Arjun?
Solid.
Say for me again?
Solid.
That is incorrect. Collegiate School? Eustonus?
Stationary.
That is incorrect. It is in a state of rest. Presbyterianism is a branch of Reformed Protestantism that traces its roots to Scotland. Spell Presbyterian. Brody.
Presbytian.
That is incorrect. Collegiate School? David?
Presbyterian.
That is also incorrect. It's Presbyterian. All right, watch the monitors. Here's a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch.
Virginia was named after which English monarch, nicknamed the Virgin Queen, whose reign ushered in a golden age of flourishing arts and exploration?
David.
Elizabeth I.
That is correct. The War of the Roses from 1455 to 1485 was fought between two houses of England. Lancaster is one. Arjun.
And York is the other.
Yes, it is. Good job. What founding member of the band Public Enemy is known for wearing large clocks on a chain around his neck? Arjun.
Dolly.
That is incorrect. Collegiate School. Eustonus.
Bon Jovi.
That's actually Flavor Flav. Oh. What former U.S. Attorney General and current senator might have won the 1968, then current senator, might have won the 1968 Democratic presidential? Eustonus.
Kennedy.
Be more specific.
Robert Kennedy.
That is correct. And that buzzer is the end of our first round. Good job by our teams. Up next, we'll introduce you to our players, and then they'll take on the category round here on Battle of the Brains.
Miss a week of Battle of the Brains? Want to catch up on the full season of play? Find full episodes on our YouTube channel. Welcome back to Battle of the Brains.
Here are the scores following the first toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains. Our team from Collegiate School with 90 points. Our team from St. Christopher School with 10 points. And we'll get back to our match just ahead. But first, let's learn a little bit about today's players. First, our team from Collegiate School. The Cougars are coached by Will Dunlap and Tyler Boyd. Our first player is senior David Dabney, who enjoys Ethics Bowl, playing basketball and cross country, and plans to pursue a major in business at UVA. Congratulations on your acceptance. Our next player is Leah Johnston, who is a senior, is president of the International Thespian Society Troop 2360, outdoor collegiate rock climbing team captain, and plans to pursue an English or journalism major, and is attending Wellesley College for English and theater. Our team captain is senior Eustonus Petkauskas, who is planning to attend MIT to study electrical engineering. Congratulations. Favorite states are Virginia and Iowa, followed by Massachusetts, and is passionate about public transportation. We'll have to have a conversation one day. You're very interesting. And wrapping up our team is Kyle Spicer, who's a sophomore who wants to pursue music in college and enjoys theater and running. That is our team from Collegiate School. Great to have you back for our third round here. Now for our team from St. Christopher School, the Saints are coached by Alina Shahutsky. First up is senior Sutton Olison, who is the varsity soccer captain, enjoys poetry, writing, and reading, and plans to go into pre-law. Our team captain is senior Robert Head. He rows crew in the spring and really enjoys Spielberg movies and cheeseburgers, apparently. Arjun Anand is a sophomore who runs both track and cross country and is a member of Model UN and enjoys walking his two dogs, Max and Rio. Wrapping up our team is Brody Schlobaum, who does bar trivia at his family's restaurant, Social 52, and collects bottle caps. That is our team from St. Christopher School. Great to have all of them here with us today. Now they're going to play the category round. Each team will select one 10-question category from our today's choices. Now, if the team gets all of its questions correct in the allotted time, they will receive a 20-point bonus. Teams, take a look here at today's categories from which you may choose. They are this, that, and the other, weather words, and a world cities. And we do note that in this round, only the captains can officially answer for the team, though they may confer with their teammates to try to come up with the correct answers. And the captain may not defer to another player to give the answers. By the rules, the high score team will go first in the category round. Eustonus, talk it over with your teammates. Tell me which category you'd like to play.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do world cities, please.
All right. Name these world cities, each of which begins with the letter A. The first is the most populous coastal city in the Nile Delta.
Alexandria.
Correct. Most populous city in Holland.
Amsterdam.
Correct. Home to over 1/3 of Alaska's residents.
Anchorage.
Correct. Capital of Turkey.
Ankara. Ankara.
Correct. Most populous city in Ethiopia.
Addis Ababa.
Correct. Second most populous city in Belgium.
Antwerp.
Yeah.
Correct. Capital of South Australia.
Adelaide.
Correct. Georgia city that is home to golf's Masters tournament.
Augusta.
Correct. Site of the University of Texas's main campus.
Austin.
Correct. And finally, French site of the so-called Babylonian captivity.
Arles.
Arl.
Could it be anything else?
Take our time.
Could be
20 seconds.
Yeah. Babylonian
Bay.
captivity. Could it be?
Aix-en-Provence.
I feel like
Yeah, too.
I've heard of that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Aix-en-Provence.
Should have taken one more second. It's Avignon.
Shoot.
Good job, though, on that category. All right, St. Christopher's School, your category will either be this, that, and the other, or weather words. Robert, talk it over
This,
with
that,
you.
and the other.
All right. Answer these assorted questions covering a variety of unrelated topics. The first is the year California became a state.
Yes. 1848. 1850? 1850.
That is correct. Discoverer of the Hawaiian Islands.
Cook. Yeah, James Cook.
That is correct. Name of Atari's first video game.
First video game.
Meteors?
Meteors?
It was called Pong. Debuted in 1972. Author of Silas Marner.
Hawthorne?
That'd be George Eliot or Marianne Evans. Sea in which the island of Patmos is located.
Yeah. Aegean?
That is correct. Pixar's Nemo is what type of fish?
Clownfish.
Correct. Name of the woman whose cow allegedly started the Great Fire of Chicago in 1871.
Annie.
Was Mrs. O'Leary's cow. What do the letters NSFW mean?
Not safe for work.
Correct. Name of the river that runs through Amsterdam.
The Rhine. Yeah, the Rhine. I don't know. Yeah, the Rhine.
The Rhine?
It's the Amstel.
Yeah, it's not the Rhine.
And finally, how to say hello in Japanese.
Konnichiwa.
That is correct. You beat the buzzer. Good job. All right, good job in the category round by both of our teams. Up next, they'll have another toss-up round when our Battle of the Brains quarterfinals match returns.
Battle of the Brains is always available. Find full episodes on YouTube and follow Battle of the Brains on social media. Welcome back to Battle of the Brains.
Here are the scores following the category round here on Battle of the Brains. Our team from Collegiate School with 135 points. Our team from St. Christopher's School with 40 points. And now it's back to Battle of the Brains and another toss-up round. And a reminder, a team does lose points for interrupting a question with an incorrect answer. The other team will then have the chance to answer the completed question. Of course, there's no conferring in the category rounds. All right, teams, here we go. Euglena are microorganisms that exhibit both plant and animal characteristics are found in what kingdom? Arjun.
Protists.
Repeat.
Protists.
Judges? Yes, that is correct. Formerly protista, now excavata. What is the term for the Japanese art form that translates as folding paper? Arjun.
Origami.
Correct. In chemistry, what is the range of the pH scale? Robert.
0 to 14?
Correct. You may need a pencil and paper for this.
That's true.
What is the dot product of two orthogonal vectors? Sutton.
0.
Correct. If this restaurant is closed, the situation is really bad. Brody.
Waffle House?
That is correct. This African mountain system extends between the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea.
Atlas.
Arjun. That is
Atlas.
correct. With a population of over 15 million, this Buddhist country borders Laos, Thailand, and Vietnam. Kyle.
Cambodia.
Correct. What Midwestern Major League Baseball franchise has an avian name? David.
The St. Louis Cardinals?
Correct. In 1900, it had 37 letters, but 4 letters were dropped when spellings were reformed by the Bolsheviks in 1918. Name this Slavic language that uses the Cyrillic alphabet. Eustonus.
Russian.
Correct. Zenith is an Arabic word for the point in the sky directly overhead. What is the word for a navigational point somewhere along the horizon? Arjun.
Kismet.
Repeat for me.
Kismet.
That is incorrect. Collegiate School? Eustonus?
Apex.
It's called the azimuth. A fancy word for a grouping of cooked, processed, or cured meats is charcuterie. Spell charcuterie. Sutton.
CHARCUTERIE.
That is correct. All right, you need your pencil and paper. Maybe. What is the greatest common factor of 15 and 27? Sutton.
3.
That's correct. When dust particles enter the Earth's atmosphere, they're often called shooting stars. What is another name for a shooting star before it hits the Earth's surface? Leah?
A comet?
That is incorrect. Arjun?
Meteorite?
That is incorrect. It is a meteor. The only common English word borrowed from this language, a relative of Hungarian spoken by about 6 million Europeans, is sauna. Arjun?
Finnish?
That is correct. The language is spoken by most residents of Helsinki. What British author created the character of Super Agent 007, James Bond? Robert?
Ian Fleming.
Correct. First book was 1953's Casino Royale. All right, watch the monitors. Here's the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch with a question.
What territory did the English and French both claim and then go to war over from 1754 to 1763?
Eustonus?
Ohio River Valley.
Correct. In 1998, the U.S. House of Representatives initiated 2 articles of impeachment against President Eustonus.
Bill Clinton.
That is incorrect. Against President Bill Clinton. Name either of the 2 charges he was accused of and later acquitted. Robert?
Perjury.
And the other was obstruction of justice. Correct. Eli Manning won 2 Lombardi trophies while quarterback of what? Brody?
New York Giants.
Correct. In the NFL. He wrote Candida, Arms and the Man, and Caesar and Cleopatra. Name this Irish dramatist who won the 1925 Nobel Prize for Literature. Arjun?
Joyce?
That is incorrect. Collegiate School? Eustonus?
Swift.
It was George Bernard Shaw. Name the British author of The Skeptical Chemist whose namesake law says that a gas's pressure times its volume. Eustonus?
Charles.
That is incorrect. That the gas's pressure times its volume remains constant. St. Christopher's? Arjun?
Boyle?
Robert Boyle is correct. And that buzzer means one more toss-up round just ahead and will double the point value. Stay tuned to see which team is today's winner and goes on to the semifinals here on Battle of the Brains.
Love Battle of the Brains? Ready for your high school team to play next season? Go to battleofthebrains.net to learn more. Welcome back to Battle of the Brains.
Here are the scores as we head into the final round here on Battle of the Brains. Our team from Collegiate School with 155 points. Our team from St. Christopher's School with 170 points. Now for this final toss-up round, the point score for a correct answer is doubled, but so is the penalty for an incorrect answer given before I finish the question. There is no deduction for an incorrect answer to a completed question. All right, teams, good luck. This is our final toss-up round. You may need your pencil and paper. The product of 2 consecutive odd integers is 675. What are those 2 integers? Eustonus?
15 and 25.
That is incorrect. St. Christopher's School? Sutton?
25 and 27.
That is correct. This bone is the only one involved in pivot, hinge, and ball and socket joints. Kyle?
Femur.
That is incorrect. Name this long bone of the upper arm that meets the radius and ulna at the elbow. Sutton?
Tibia.
It's actually the humerus. Helena is the capital of which western U.S. state? Kyle?
Montana.
Correct. Robert Fulton is given credit for the first successful steamboat. What Englishman perfected the steam engine? Arjun?
Train?
That is incorrect. Collegiate School? What? Eustonus?
Charles. No answer.
It was James Watt.
Oh.
Okay.
It is the world's oldest desert and the only one in Africa inhabited by Leah.
The Sahara?
That is incorrect. I'll finish the question. It is the world's oldest desert and the only one in Africa inhabited by elephants, rhinos, giraffes, and lions. Name this desert that stretches from Angola to South Africa. Arjun?
Serengeti?
It's the Namib.
All good.
In 2022, President Biden signed a bill named for what black teenager killed in Mississippi in 1955? Eustonus?
Emmett Till.
Correct. It made lynching a federal hate crime. In 1971 constitutional amendment, which one reduced the voting age from 21 to 18? David?
25.
That is incorrect. St. Christopher's? Robert?
27.
It was actually the 26th Amendment.
Odd numbers.
In 1995, no state had an obesity level over 20%. In 2017, all states do as of that year. Colorado, with 22.3%, is the lowest, with an obesity rate of 41%. What state?
West Virginia.
That is correct, as the highest. During the first millennium BC, Eritrea became home to what Asiatic immigrants to Italy? Arjun.
Ottomans?
That is incorrect. Collegiate School? David?
Moors?
It was the Etruscans. Written in a Devanagari script, almost every citizen of India has a working knowledge of it. The Indian Constitution states, Eustonus.
Hindi?
That is correct. It is the official language of India. A decathlon is a combined athletic event consisting of how many track and field events? Robert?
5.
That is incorrect. David?
10.
10 is correct. Pencil and paper may be needed. What is the area of a right triangle with hypotenuse 13? Eustonus?
30.
That is correct, and one base of length of 5. Jansenists, rigidly Roman Catholic fundamentalists, and Huguenots, Calvinist Protestants, were both severely persecuted by what 17th century French sovereign? Aaliyah?
Louis XVI.
That is incorrect. First, Robert?
Louis XIV.
That is correct. What element has the lowest melting point? Eustonus?
Helium?
That is correct, at minus 272.2 Celsius. It remains liquid even at absolute zero. Actors James McAvoy and Sir Patrick Stewart have both portrayed which Marvel Comics character? Arjun?
Captain Marvel.
That is incorrect. Collegiate School? Eustonus?
Superman?
Actually, Professor Charles Xavier, or Professor X. That buzzer is the end of our match. While our judges double-check the final score, here's a reminder of how to stay connected with us here at Battle of the Brains.
Stay up to date on Battle of the Brains. Follow along as your favorite teams advance this season. Visit battleofthebrains.net to learn more and follow along at Battle of the Brains on social media. Join us next week on Battle of the Brains as we welcome students from Collegiate School playing against students from Jamestown High School. Don't miss the action.
Now here's the final score for today's match, determining which team will continue on in this season's competition and the semifinals, earning at least a $2,500 scholarship for today's win. Ending the match with a final score of 230 points, our team from St. Christopher School. Great season for your team and a great job today. Great job by Sutton, Robert, Arjun, and Brody, and best of luck with the rest of your school year. Our winners today with a final score of 235 points, our team from the Collegiate School. Congratulations. And moving on to the next round, our team, David, Leah, Eustonus, and Kyle. Again, the Collegiate School, our winners today, and moving on to the next round. Congratulations. I'm Cheryl Miller. Thank you so much for watching and playing along here on Battle of the Brains, and we'll see you back here next week. Great match, teams.
Game over. Thank you for watching Battle of the Brains, presented by Invest 529.